Now, the first 2 episodes, someone did die in each one, but I know that moving forward there won't necessarily be a death every week. Have some shows gotten a little too gung-ho with killing a character as a what do I want to call it?
A promise?
Yeah, promising to kill people as something to attract more people to the show.
I mean, I don't know if I would even say it's a fault of other shows. I think that for our show, though, the thing that's going to make it stand out from the movies is that you actually are having the time to get invested in these characters. And as Jill had, Noah's character say in the pilot, once you're invested in them and you care about them, when they're horribly murdered, it hurts. And that really, I think, like Game of Thrones and other shows that have been doing that.
I was just going to say, Game of Thrones has done it because they don't, like sometimes they'll kill 6 characters in one episode and then they'll go 3 episodes without killing anyone. And it's really just giving you this world that you care about.
It's a chance for us to have not only those kinds of scares and the terror of it, but actually see the characters processing it and dealing with it, in the aftermath. And that's something that you just don't have the time to do in the slasher movie, very often. And certainly not in screen movies. So it's something that it really helps us sustain the series.
So any concerns, like in the movie it has a finite end after 2 hours. Any concern you're going to run out of cast if you go 5 years? I'm sure you want to go that long.
We'll be bringing in new cast members for sure. I mean, we have got a phenomenal group of people and actors that we love, which makes it even harder for us when we are killing them off. As we said during the panel, they dread seeing our names pop up on their phones because they're afraid it's that phone call, so they never answer. But yeah.
I mean, we'll find if we are given the real estate, we will find a way. But yeah, we really fell in love with this cast. The casting process was about 6 months, and it was extensive. I mean, we had a lot of possibilities and a lot of back and forth, and we were so lucky when we did get this cast together. The incredible chemistry between them. They've all been they're kind of all roommates. A lot of them have they live in the same building down in Baton Rouge where we're shooting, and they've just really bonded
like
incredibly.
friends.
Yeah.
When a movie like Parenthood goes on TV, you can see, it's family stories, but how did this even get in order because of the thought of losing all the cast?
Well, we definitely had to. That's one of the things you have to change. Because we've talked about, do you do this show like an anthology show, like American Horror Story? Do you do a different cast every season, or do you take the same cast and put them in a different situation? But for us, we realized that these characters were strong, and like Twin Peaks, if you have a bigger mystery, if you have a small town that has a lot of secrets and a lot of depth to it, that you've got a lot more to dig into, that you can get, you can do snapshots, and you can do sort of a micro look at a family or a character or the ramifications of someone's death. And it's something that, once again, you don't get to do in the movie version. So
I think that when MTV took a risk on Teen Wolf, and it really worked, they did a great job with it. It really opened up the doors for shows like ours.
So do you guys know who the killer is? That's one.
Oh yeah.
And do you know when you intend on revealing that?
We do.
Okay.
And yes to both of those things. You can't break a season of a show without knowing. And I mean, there's wiggle room because we have tried to very carefully lay it out that it can be anyone. And luckily, when we really kind of got to the end of the season, we looked at it and we were like, wow, we actually really could, if we decided, change it and have it be somebody else. But our plan has so far held well.
How far in advance have you planned? Do you have ideas for if there's a season 2, if there's a season 3, if there's a season?
If there was a season 2, we definitely had a jumping off point and where things could go, and even like the broad stroke ideas of potential for a season 3.
yeah.
And obviously those are sort of milestones that you'll
They're
figure out who's going to be there. They're signposts.
The name of my company is Signpost Up Ahead.
That's right.
So it's like, that's kind of how I think about it. It's like season 2, when I went into pitch to MTV, like once they were happy with the pilot, and then I had to go in and sort of pitch, what would season 2 be? What would season 3 be? It's like, obviously I don't have the whole thing figured out, but when you throw out enough tantalizing tidbits and they realize, oh, that's all planted, that's all set up, and you're like, yeah,
you
exactly.
We can make it work. There's actually there is enough material here to explore that will be different enough too. That's part of the fun, I think, of the show. When you're paying homage to the genre, so you can actually lean more into different kinds of the horror genre within the Scream sort of mythology and tone.
You've introduced the trivia.
Do you guys plan to have any celebrity guest stars, mainly from past films, at all in the future, just out of curiosity? Or any involvement with that?
We have talked about it, and I think now that we've premiered and a number of them responded. I mean, Courtney Cox
Tweeted
was
about
lovely.
it.
She was tweeting about it to us, and
Jamie
Drew
Kennedy.
Barrymore and Jamie Kennedy. I mean, so a number of them, they've embraced it, which was really very flattering for us. I think if we could do it, and it made sense for a character, and it wasn't going to distract from the experience for our core viewership of this world, because it is very separate from Woodsboro in terms of mythology and characters and backstories. I think it would be a lot of fun to do. I'm certainly not opposed to it.
Never say never, yeah.
You've introduced the trivia. Is that voice going to be consistent now, or are you going to play with the new voice box?
The whole idea of this killer and a big theme of this story is the masks that we all wear. The idea of on social media you can be anything you want. And that was a really fun idea to introduce to our killer. And, we are going to bring him into 2015, and so he might have different ways of presenting himself. Like in the second episode, he calls as, the guy who's from the security company, and so it's finding fun ways to put people off their guard or gain their instant trust. For me, it's like, just because someone's dressed like a policeman, they're not a policeman.
So just as a follow-up to my original question about who the killer is, does the killer know that they're the killer?
In terms of the actor in the show?
Or actress?
Or actor, actress. We have made people aware of what they need to know when they need to know it. Because you have to be a little careful with certain things. Because if you tell somebody a piece of information and they internalize that, they may not even know that subconsciously they're starting to project it. So you have to kind of be careful with when you want to reveal certain things to them.
And it's amazing the fear and worry among some actors who will read a scene and they're like, I'm the killer. And it's like, no, not necessarily. It might just be a ruse. And they'll call and be like, that's my killer scene, right? I'm totally the killer. And it's like, calm down, just relax.
I mean, the whole idea of everybody has secrets and lies, right? And if you peel back the curtain on any family or person or town, that's what you're going to discover, and that's what we're unmasking in the show. Is it time?
But isn't it good because then you're alive to the end?
Well, maybe, or the end of a season, or